So welcome all. I come from the counselling service and my name is Rico, and I will be going through the culture shock workshop with you. I'm originally from Colombia. I came to do a master's at Birkbeck at UCL and UCL. It was a joint master's about 17 years ago, and I definitely experienced culture shock. So I will take you through not only what it is, but what I definitely experienced coming here. So we will go through what is culture shock, how to look after yourself, a little bit of academic tips, because also there is an academic culture. Not in all countries we study in the same way, we should do things in the same way, so sort of a little bit of tips of how to succeed in your studies. An introduction about the wellbeing services, and then we will open up a bit of a space to have some activities for you to question a little bit whether you have experienced or not the culture shock. So first of all, it has been very well researched in terms of the different phases of the culture shock. So it's definitely a thing. So you were saying, I'm not sure if it's actually something that does happen. It does happen, and it has been proven by numerous research. And these are the phases that one goes through or tends to go through when you're experiencing the culture shock. So it all starts with a honeymoon period. Before you come to a different country or before you sort of arrive, you have that period of excitement and anticipation. You are full of dreams and expectations about coming and studying in Birkbeck, coming to London, or whatever brought you to England a few years back. Then you actually arrive and you sort of go through the initial sort of tourist stuff when everything is exciting, but all of that sort of finishes after a few weeks and reality hits. So that is the period of distress or disintegration. So you are a little bit deflated by the experience, if you wish. So nothing is meeting your expectations. So for instance, you start realizing that you perhaps don't like the food. 2 weeks in, you thought that you would have a few friends and the people will sort of come to you and that you will make friends at university. You haven't made many. You started the lectures and perhaps it's not exactly what you expected. Perhaps it's different system to what you're used to back home. It's a very little contact with the academics perhaps, and you're supposed to do quite a lot of work yourselves. So that is that period of disliking the culture. Sort of realizing is not necessarily what you expected. And as a result, you go to the third stage. You reintegrate with your own culture. Is that period when you say, well, my food is better, the weather is better, what I used to study was better. So you go the other way. So disintegrate for the new culture and reintegrate with your original one. Eventually, as the time keeps passing, you find the autonomy. That means that you take what you like from the new culture and reject what you don't like. It's the realistic stage. You know that it is not possible to like absolutely everything, but it's not that bad either. And you become also a little bit more realistic on your own culture. Your own culture perhaps is not perfect either. And you take what you like from both. So for example, I don't like the food, but I do like that they have night buses. In Colombia, they don't have night buses, so you're stuck or you have to pay for a taxi. Here, you can sort of be a little bit more free, a little bit more independent. That kind of thing you start realizing after a while. And the independence is when you are feeling more comfortable in your own skin. You feel a little bit more part of the place. You are no longer an outsider. You have been here for a while and you feel more comfortable in the new country. The important thing to say here is that you go in and out the different stages. Every time there is significant change or you discover something new, it could be that you start a new module or that you travel to a different part of England, and you may go through either of these stages again and again. And as Lion was saying earlier, you definitely experience a reverse culture shock if you have been here for a while. Then you have to reintegrate to your own culture. So if you haven't been back, you may experience it in the not too distant future because everything seems a little bit distant from you when you go back. So how to help yourself if you think you may be going through the culture shock, or in case you experience it in a few weeks' time? It's a normal experience. It's normal to feel a little bit as an outsider from the new culture. So only knowing that helps. It's nothing abnormal, you're not struggling, it's just change. Keep in touch with home, and I put there, find the balance. Sometimes we feel that when we go to a new culture, we have to sort of forget about our language, our friends, and fully immerse ourselves in the new culture. Well, that is actually quite harsh, because we don't know many people here, and if we completely lose contact with our friends and family, we will be very isolated. On the other hand, if we keep in touch all the time, we're always on the phone, we're always on WhatsApp, we're always calling them, then we miss the chance of making those new relationships. So it's finding the balance between keeping in touch and being independent. Sometimes just having familiar things around you helps. Sometimes finding that place in London that sells your favorite food and be able to buy it every so often. Or just having that picture of your family at home, that helps to feel that you have a little home in here. So whatever sort of works for you, try to find that bit of familiarity. Be healthy. Exercise does make us feel happier and increases our endorphins. So try to sort of go out and do some exercise if you can. Integrate. If you are all sort of foreign students, it's very likely that you're going through very similar experiences, or even English students may be going through a similar experience within the course. They may be struggling with the same subjects. So there is a lot of common points between you and the other students. So make the most of it, because you have a very big community here. And make the most of all the support available. So I will go through the support that is provided by the Wellbeing Services in a moment. But you have a lot of help from your own personal tutors and the academics. You have a lot of workshops from the Study Skills program in terms of essay writing, in terms of referencing, anything that you may be struggling with academically. And then you also have the Student Union full of activities and different clubs that you can join. So I thought I will give you just a few academic tips, just because depending on where you're coming from, sort of the academic culture may be just slightly different. So in England, the academic culture is very social. You are supposed to participate and make yourself notice as much as you can. For some other cultures, you are supposed to respect your lecturer and they are the one who knows, and you have to wait for your turn to speak. Here is a social and a collective activity. So the advice is ask as many questions as you can, get as involved as you can. It's not to test yourself. It's not to, when you ask questions, it's not to show that you actually know. We are supposed to not know. We are learning. So those questions will be very useful not only for you, but for your peers as well. Also, studying for a higher education degree can be very overwhelming. If you start thinking about sort of your dissertation or those exams that you will have in a few months' time, that tends to get very, very overwhelming. So the advice is divide it in very small tasks, because sometimes it's that thought of, I have a long essay to write, 2,000 words, and you sit down in front of the computer and you think like, oh, where to start? I can't possibly write 2,000 words. Well, start from the start. Write the title, think about the topic, start with the introduction. So just divide whatever you have to do in smaller tasks, and then you feel a sense of achievement. Okay, I wrote 10 words today, and that's progression. So you didn't write it all, but you start from somewhere. Remember to take your breaks, remember sort of to make a plan in terms of priorities, and that will make the whole task that you have a little bit more manageable. So something that I find helpful is that strive for progress rather than perfection. You need to progress every time in order to be able to achieve the goal that you have and that sort of first degree or whatever you're aiming for. Okay, so in terms of the well-being services, we divide in 3 different services: the counseling service, the mental health service, and the disability and dyslexia. The last 2, the disability and mental health service, are there for students that are already suffering from an ongoing condition, either physical or mental, and is there to provide sort of adjustments to your needs. So for instance, if you have a mobility issue, you should declare it so that you don't have any lecture having to go up the stairs, for instance. If you have a mental health condition, equally, your needs should be considered and adapted to, for example, having a little bit of more time in your exams if you're suffering from severe anxiety or anything that could help you. So those 2 services is for something that you are suffering from. The difference with the counseling service is that anybody can access the counseling service. And perhaps you're not sure whether you need or you don't need counseling, but you're struggling with something. We have a drop-in service where you can meet with our well-being administrators and just ask the question, I'm not sure if I need counseling, but I'm struggling with something, and they will be able to advise you. Every student is entitled to counseling, and that means that everybody gets a one-off consultation. That is the possibility to meet with a counselor, discuss your worries, and then together you will discuss what is the best way moving forward. It's not necessarily ongoing counseling. Perhaps you just need some tips in terms of managing stress. You may want to attend a different workshop that will help you with whatever you're struggling with, or you may need a couple of more sessions of counseling, and that is also possible. So the drop-in service is at Student Advice Center, so main entrance of the main building on your left-hand side, and you will be able to meet with our well-being administrators Monday to Thursday at 3:45. They're there for 2 hours, Monday to Thursday. Also, if you visit our website, there is a lot of online resources on anything that you may be struggling with. Things like struggling to sleep well. We have a lot of tips, and there is a little bit of a manual on sleep tips, anxiety, stress. If you're feeling a little bit that you're dealing with procrastination and you cannot concentrate yourselves, there is a lot of material there, so visit our website. Or you can also log into Moodle, and you may have noticed that you have a module there that is called Counseling and Mental Health. If you click on there, we're constantly posting new resources that may help you to succeed with your studies.